all right? Feeling good? Yeah, excellent. Okay, so let's just settle into our space. So finding a comfortable seated position, softening your eyes and taking a few deep breaths. Let's land together in our yoga studios. Taking some deep breaths, noticing the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. Let's leave the busyness of our morning behind and enjoy the next 45 minutes yoga to nourish your body and your mind. Today's yoga is going to be focused around the full moon that's happening tomorrow. So when we come to a full moon, it's the culmination of the last 4 weeks. So celebrating all the things that we've achieved for the last 4 weeks, being grateful for what's in our lives, for our health and for the connections around us and for the Mother Earth. In our practice today, let's focus on being grateful, and we'll have a lovely asana around that, and then we will have a Yoga Nidra to restore our energy and our balance at the end. Welcome, Gilda. Okay, so let's just take a few more breaths, lifting up our spine. And imagine as you inhale, you're inhaling all the beautiful energies of the earth up through your feet and through your buttocks, up through the base and up through all of the chakras, all the way up your spine. And then let go of all that you don't need out through the crown of your head. Let's take 3 lion's breaths. Big breath in. And again. And one more. Let's give our shoulders a roll in the circular direction. Thinking about circles like the full moon. And rolling our shoulders back the other way. And then making our circles a little bigger. Tracing out the shape of the moon. And back the other way. Loosening up any tension you might have in your shoulders or your neck. And then let's move our head in a circular direction as well, just loosening off our neck. And coming back the other way. And bringing our chin to chest. And lifting our gaze. Let's keep going with a few more. Breathe in as you lift your head. And breathe out as you bring your chin to your chest. And then coming on to tabletop. Bringing your knees underneath your hips, spreading out your hands. And we'll just loosen up our spine. As we inhale, lift our chest, lift our game, drop our belly towards the mat. And exhale as we lift our belly and round out our shoulders, stretching out our neck. Just keep going with this little flow with your breath. Use your breath to initiate the movements. Inhale as you lift your chest and lift your gaze. And exhale as you lift your belly button and round out your spine up towards the ceiling. Let's do one more round. And then we'll go to thread the needle, moving our right foot in towards the right hand in towards the middle of the mat, lifting our left hand up and taking our gaze in our left hand, raising it all the way up to the ceilings, feeling the stretch through the chest and a twist in the lower back. And exhale as you hover it down underneath the right hand. And then inhale back up. And exhale, hover it through. And inhale up. And this time we're going to bring our arm and our shoulder and our ear down towards the mat and slide our right hand forward. Let's take a couple of breaths here, connecting with the stretch through the left scapula. And then inhale, bring the left hand back up to the mat, slide the right hand back, and we'll take it to the other side. Inhaling, lifting your arm up and taking our gaze with it, and then exhale, hover the right hand under the left. Really stretch it out. Inhale all the way up, and then exhale, hover it under again. And one more. All the way up. Feel that twist in the upper back and the stretch through the chest, and then bring the right hand and arm and ear down towards the mat and take the left hand forward. And do some nice deep breaths here, connecting through the right scapula. One more breath here. And then inhale, bring your right hand back up, take your knees wide, bring your buttocks down to your heels, and slide your hands forward and bring your forehead down to the mat into a child's pose. And just rest here, taking some nice deep breaths, really stretching out your shoulders and opening up your lower back. As you surrender into the pose, bringing your forehead to the mat. Let's take some nice deep breaths here. Coming back to the theme of our practice, the combination of the full moon and being grateful for what we have in our lives. Our health, our family, our connections, and nature. Let's take 4 more breaths here. And last breath. And then coming back up to tabletop, we're going to tuck our toes under and lift our hips into our first downward dog for today. You might need to take your socks off because your feet might slip. Hopefully you've got a nice warm room, and then walking your heels down to the mat, stretching out the back of our legs, also stretching our shoulder. If this is too much weight on your shoulders, Deb, you can go against the drawers there in your room. Do whatever feels right for you today. Always rest if you need to. And then let's bring our body into a plank and slowly lower down to the mat. And then lifting up, opening our hands, lift our chest up, squeeze our buttocks into cobra, bring our shoulders back and down. And then exhale, bring our forehead down to the mat. And then inhale back up to cobra again, raising our chest. Squeezing our shoulders back and down, squeezing our buttocks. Let's go 2 more rounds. And then coming back into child's pose. And then inhaling, bringing the body forward into an upward dog. And exhale into child's pose. So just keep moving in and out. We're just warming up our spine, loosening off our lower backs, stretching through the front of the body. And coming back to tabletop. And we're going to take our right foot forward next to our right hand into lizard pose. And from here, you can keep the left knee on the ground, or you can tuck the left toes under and bring the knee up. Just feeling that opening through the chest, through the hips. And you can take it one step further if you wish. You can lift up your right hand and take your gaze up to the right hand, or you can stay leaving the right hand on the ground. Take a couple of breaths here. And then bring the right hand back. Lower the left knee, bring the right leg back and take it to the other side. So taking the left foot next to the left hand and tuck the right toes under and lift up. Or you can leave the right knee down, it's up to you. You can lift the left hand up into a lizard twist. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Good work, everyone. And then bring the left hand back down, bring the right knee down, and take the left knee back. Okay, from here, let's come up to standing position. Coming to the back of our mat and turn the left toes out slightly. Step forward with the right toes. Lining up the hips and the shoulders facing forward. And inhale, bend the right knee, lift your arms up, raise your gaze, lift your chest. So reaching up towards the ceiling like we're holding up a beach ball. Taking a few breaths here. Keeping it nice and strong through the right leg and feeling the stretch through the left hip. Bring the right hand forward, left hand back into warrior two. Squeezing the shoulders. So you're moving the hands towards the back of the body. And then take both hands down to the mat. And if you have a block here, you can place the right hand on the block, lengthen out the right knee, and inhale, lift the left hand up into triangle pose. So feeling a nice stretch through the back of the right leg. And just breathe here. Really feeling that stretch through the front of the chest. And then bring the left hand down to the mat. Bring both hands behind and clasp them. Lift up the chest into humble warrior. Just take 2 breaths here. And then release your hands. Come back up to standing and come to the back of the mat. And we'll go to the other side, turning the right toe out slightly. Step forward with the left foot, lining up your hips and shoulders. And the left heel should be in line with the right arch. Inhale, lift your arms, bend the left knee and bring your chest up. Gaze up towards the ceiling and imagine that you're holding that beach ball again. Feel the stretch through the right hip this time. Keep it nice and strong through the left leg. Let's take some breaths here. Imagine you're like holding a full moon in your hands. And then bring the left hand forward, right hand back, keeping the bend in the left knee. Squeeze the shoulder blades together so you get a squeeze through the shoulders and opening through the chest. And then bringing both hands down to the mat. If you have your block there, you can place the left hand on the block, lengthen out the left leg, and then inhale, lift the right hand up towards the ceiling and take your gaze up to the right hand. Feel the stretch through the back of the left leg and through the front of the chest. Just take a couple of breaths here. And one more breath. And bring the right hand down and bring both hands behind your back, clasping them. As you inhale, lift your chest and lift your gaze into humble warrior, feeling that stretch through the shoulders. Then release your hands and come back up to standing. And this time we're going to come sideways onto the mat, taking your feet out nice and wide. You might like to heel toe them out a little wider. And then bring your hands down to the mat and bring the crown of your head facing down towards the earth and slide your hands underneath you. Heel toe out a little wider and bring your crown of your head down towards the earth. This is our first inversion for the practice. Let's come back to our theme about what we're grateful for in our lives. Take some nice deep breaths. Inversions are great for our immunity in our circulatory system and our lymphatic system. They help to settle down the parasympathetic nervous system so we come into a nice chilled state of nervousness rather than a fight or flight. Let's just enjoy this inversion. Let's take about 4 more breaths. Surrendering into the pose. And then on the next inhalation, lift your chest a little, lengthen out your spine. And heel toe your feet a little closer together. Bend your knees a little and then come up into standing and reaching up towards the sky. Stretching a little bit towards a back bend. And let's go from side to side. Bring your feet a little closer together. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the side. And then bring your hands back to heart center. Okay, from here we're going to do a balancing pose. We'll start with our right foot. So we're going to open up the right toes and roll our hips around in a little circle, connecting with the 3 anchor points underneath the right foot. And then let's bring our left foot next to the right with our left toes on the ground, and then lift it up either below the knee or above the knee. And then bring our hands into cactus. Find the gazing point here. Let's take some deep breaths. Just settling into the balancing pose. Stilling our mind and stilling our body. Let's take 4 more breaths. And then release. Coming back to the other side and rolling our hips around, feeling the anchor points on the left foot. And just noticing when you go into this pose, you might find that you are more balanced on one side than the other. That's pretty natural. So bring the toes of the right foot next to the left foot and then lifting it up. Bring the knee out to the side. Find your gazing point and then bring your hands up to cactus. Squeezing your shoulders together. Find your gazing point. And stilling down the body and the mind. Coming back to your breath. Let's take 4 more breaths here. And last breath. And then releasing the right foot down to the mat. Give your legs a little shake. And we're going to come down to a seated position. So sitting down with our legs out in front. We're going to lift our arms and stretch up through the body. And as we exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands forward towards your shins or your ankles or your toes. Let's take a couple of breaths here, just feeling that deep stretch through the back of the legs, the lower back, and the shoulders. Gazing towards your big toes. And then inhale, release your hands and bring your left knee out to the side. Come up onto your buttocks, nice tall spine. If you find that your knee's sticking up, you can place your block underneath it to support you. We're going to inhale, lift up, and exhale, bring our hands down towards the right toes or ankle or shins, and keep your gaze towards the right toes, and notice the stretch this time through the left glute, ITB, a little bit of lower back. Let's take 4 breaths here. And last breath. And then release and come back up. Bring your left foot forward, just give them a little shake, and then bend your right knee. Bring your right foot next to your left leg. And again, just check and see where your knee is. If your knee's sitting up, you might like to support it with your block. Coming up into your seat bones, nice tall spine. Inhale, and then flex your foot and take your arms forward. And notice how this side compares to the other. You might find you're tighter on one side than the other. Gazing towards the toes. Got a big helper here today. And let's take 4 breaths. And feeling the stretch through the right glute, the right ITB. This helps to release our lower back. Last breath. And then release your hands, come up to seated position, bring your right foot forward and give your legs a little shake. And then we'll go back forward again with both legs in front. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, fold forward. And notice how much more flexibility you have this time. Let's take 4 breaths here. Surrendering into the pose. Checking in with your body, seeing how it's feeling. Checking with your mind. Just take 2 more breaths. And releasing your hands, lifting your chest up. And this time we're going to bring our soles of our feet together and our knees out like a butterfly. Bring your heels close to your body and hands on your feet. Now, from here you can use your elbows to press down a little bit on your knees, get a nice stretch through the groin. Let's take a couple of breaths. Coming back to the theme of our practice around what we're grateful for, what we can celebrate in this full moon tomorrow. And then releasing our hands and coming onto our back. Let's take our feet wide on the mat, laying down onto our back, bringing our hands up to cactus. And let's take both knees to the left, like a windscreen wiper. And then both knees to the right. Just going from side to side, getting some movement into your lower back. Keeping your shoulders on the ground so you get a nice stretch through the chest as well. And then bending your knees so the knees are pointing towards the ceiling, and hug them to your chest. Do some little circles. Just giving the lumbar spine a little massage. Then bring your right foot to the ground and cross the left leg over the front of the right thigh, and then hug it to your body like a reverse pigeon. You can thread your arms through your legs and draw the legs and knees towards your chest, getting a nice stretch through that glute area. Let's take 3 breaths here. Just surrendering into the pose, coming back to your breath. And then releasing your hands, going to the other side. Draw those knees towards your chest and feel the stretch through the right side. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then untwist your knees and hug both knees towards your chest. Do a little circle to flush out your spine. Then bringing your feet down to the mat with the soles of your feet together and your knees out to the side like a butterfly. And you can bring your hands above your head and just laying flat, and bring your knees towards the ground. Just taking a few breaths here, just opening up. Resting in the butterfly pose, noticing the stretch through the groin area. Let's take a few breaths here. Surrendering to the energy of the earth underneath you. And coming back to that theme of our practice, what we're grateful for. Let's take 4 more breaths. And then bringing our knees back together. And from here, we're going to go into our legs up position. So you might like to take your legs up next to the wall or next to some furniture you have in your room. You can also place a bolster or a block underneath your lower back, whatever works for you, or come into a shoulder stand. Just bring your feet up into another nice inversion for your body. Just giving your feet a nice circle, just activating the lymphatic system, draining some of the fluid back from your feet down your legs towards the lymph nodes in your groin. Helping to boost our immunity, helping our lymphatic system and our circulatory system, and also helping to settle down our nervous system, relaxing into the pose. You might like to take your feet nice and wide, coming back to the breath, noticing the rise and fall of the chest, softening your eyes. And then bringing our feet back together and taking them over our head into a plow type pose. And then bringing the soles of your feet together, your knees out to the side like a butterfly upside down. If you're in the shoulder stand, you might like to take your feet towards the ground above your head into plow. That's it, nice, stretching out, noticing the stretch behind your neck. And then lifting our feet back up. And on our next inhalation, slowly lowering our feet down to the mat. And coming into Savasana, into our rest pose. So getting yourself nice and comfortable. You might like to put a bolster underneath your knees to support your lower back. If you have an eye pillow, you can put that over your eyes, and get yourself nice and warm. You might have a blanket or a warm top to put on. So getting as comfortable as possible. So lying back into Savasana. Taking 3 deep, relaxing breaths. That's it, getting yourself nice and comfortable, nice and warm, like a little cocoon. Relaxing your body. Be aware of the sounds in the distance, moving your awareness from sound to sound without identifying the sounds. Be aware of your physical body lying in Savasana. Be aware of your alignment, your chin lower than your forehead, your spine aligned, your arms close to the body, fingers away from the floor, as comfortable as possible. Become aware of your natural breath, keeping it completely spontaneous. Repeat your intention 3 times mentally with feeling. Rotating your consciousness around your body, starting with your right hand, your thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of your hand, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, right side trunk, hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, top of your foot, bottom of your foot, toes, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, Check your awareness that you're still awake. And move your consciousness to the left side of your body. Your left thumb, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of your hand, forearm, elbow, upper arm, armpit, shoulder, left side trunk, hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, top of your foot, bottom of your foot, toes, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Check your awareness that you're still awake and move your attention to the back of your body, heels, back of your legs, buttocks, back, shoulder, arms, hands, your whole spine, neck, back of your head, crown of your head, forehead, right temple, left temple, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, eyebrow center, right eye, left eye, right ear, left ear, right cheek, left cheek, right nostril, left nostril, lips, chin, throat, chest, 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 abdomen, 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 pelvis, pelvis, pelvis. Become aware of your breath, counting back from 17 to 0. Check your awareness that you're still awake. Awaken the feeling of warmth within your body. Your head is warm. Your shoulders are warm. Your trunk is warm. Your legs are warm. Your feet are warm. Awaken the feeling of coolness in your body. Your feet are cool. Your legs are cool. Your trunk is cool. Your back is cool. Your arms are cool. Your legs are cool. Bring your awareness to the front of your closed eyes and imagine the following objects as they are named. A beautiful sunrise, a full moon over the water, a waterfall, a rainbow, a turtle, an eagle, an elephant, a red rose, a beautiful garden, a clear blue sky. Now is the time in your practice to repeat your intention 3 times. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel your body resting in Savasana, aware of the surrounds of the room that you're in, the floor, the ceiling, the walls, the windows, the sounds inside the room, outside the room. Recall the time of day and know that the practice of Yoga Nidra is coming to an end. I will chime the singing bowl once. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Stretching out your fingers and toes, wiggling them. And rolling to one side. Got a little Rumi quote for you today. Giving thanks for abundance is greater than abundance itself. Thank you for your time today, for joining the yoga practice. And hopefully you'll feel nice and rested and chilled. Let's bring our hands to our heart center. And then up to our forehead for kind thoughts. To our lips for kind words. And to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Jen. That was lovely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh.